In this lesson, I'm gonna show you Austrian Backhendl, aka fried chicken. Each country, I would say, has his own fried chicken. In Austria, it's quite similar to the schnitzel from the breading. We're gonna use all the offcuts that we found on the chicken, especially the chicken wing meat, yeah. And we're gonna stuff it inside the thigh and leg of the chicken, and then batter it classic on the Panierstrasse, which is the street of battering in Vienna. Flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. So we're gonna start grinding the meat offcuts because there's also the chicken wing meat inside, so there's a lot of stringiness also to it. So I want to break that down inside the grinder. So we use again a fine meat grinder. So next for our stuffing, we're gonna need some very fine diced ginger, diced white of spring onions or just the white of the leeks. So this is a little bit inspired just from like chicken Chinese dumplings. I have some shiitake mushrooms that are just quickly sauteed in a pan. Homemade truffle oil. I have buckwheat soy sauce. Salt. White pepper. And then we can just add a little bit of potato starch, just to give it a little bit of a binding. And now you can really go super strong on the mixing, just until it turns white and you work all the proteins. So here we have our minced stuffing of the Backhendl, the fried chicken. We have our deboned chicken leg and some fresh shisho. I'm just gonna give this a little bit of salt and white pepper. Then I'm gonna use some fresh red shisho. And I'm gonna start here in the top part of the leg, just to fill it with one leaf. And then just lay it out. And then I'm gonna really try to blow up this leg with the stuffing until it comes out in the front. And then just go almost all the way to the back. Now we're gonna try to use as much skin as we have to close it to a roll. The closing is a little bit tricky. You have to go almost only through the skin and go a little crisscross. And then always close it also in front, that the stuffing doesn't get out. So this is the chicken, and now you just try to make it a little bit longer and also make sure it's equal from the size. So next I'm gonna season it outside. Just a little bit of salt and white pepper again. So this is the most famous street in Vienna. It's called Panierstrasse, crumbing street. Flour, scrambled egg, and breadcrumbs. So obviously we just start on the flour. We leave the stick basically in the whole cooking so it doesn't open. Then we go into the egg. And from the egg into the breadcrumbs. On this technique, I like to go a second time on the top side where only the skin is, because usually it doesn't stick too good to the skin. Just to make sure it stays coated after frying. Just gonna check if you have some empty spots. You can just go with your finger a little bit of egg. We're gonna put the chicken leg into the fryer at 185 degrees for 3 minutes. Afterwards, we take it out, leave it outside resting for 3 minutes, and then for 1 minute back into the fry, and then it's ready to serve.